Hey friends, I'm back with another project with the Tonic design team. Today I'm using the Tonic Kit 20 called Woodland Park. In the Tonic kits you get a set of dies, and I'm showing you the dies here. And this die set's going to make a really cute little gift box. I'm going to show you how that comes together in a minute. You have some panel dies. You also have the die that creates the box. And then there's also some coordinating stamps so you can make some cute charms or some embellishments on the box. Now, I think with every third or fourth kit, Tonic will send out this little binder. It's a 6x8 binder, and you can put your kits in there. Of course, there's already holes that are punched in the kit folder, and you can just slip that in. I think that fits about 3 or 4 kits. Also comes with this nice themed sticker so you know which kit your collection comes from. Now in this kit you're going to get a few items. First up is this 6x6 paper pad from the Woodland Park collection. It features 24 pattern papers, and they are double-sided pattern papers. Now for those of you who like natural colors, this is the kit for you. This kit features a lot of beautiful browns, golds, bronze, lots of beautiful green colors, and some yellow. So this is perfect for springtime projects. Next up, you get a set of these gorgeous pattern papers. These are specialty papers that are available not only in this kit, but they should be available individually. So if you want to pick up a pack, what I'll do is I'll post a link down below to the individual items that are available as individual items, and of course the kit itself. And the kit is available for a limited time. So you get a grass green, classic cardstock, a tan brown, a rustic dark, a mirrored cardstock, and I love the mirrored cardstock, so you see that right there. There's also the green leaf specialty, yellow bamboo, which I showed you first, and the oak wood grain, which is beautiful. Here's one of those mirror pattern, or solid cardstock rather. And then of course some textured cardstock as well. Just beautiful textured papers that you can use on a variety of different projects, including the box I'm going to show you today. Next in the kit, you're going to get a jar of this beautiful champagne shine sequin. That's just perfect for really any project. You can use it with this kit or other projects as well. I'm just kind of showing you what that sequin looks like. You also get some crystal drops, and this color is called Caramel Latte. And what you can do is you can accent any of your projects with these crystal drops. They come in different finishes and different colors. Next up is the Falling Leaves Shimmer Powder. Now you can use this in one of 2 ways. Of course, I like using it as a watercolor that I can paint on my cards and other projects. All I did was I applied just a little bit of that powder to my paper and spritz that with some water. Conversely, you can spritz water on your paper and then of course sprinkle that powder. And what it gives you is a beautiful shine pearlescent watercolor. You'll see all the beautiful colors that come out of that, greens and blues and so forth. And that's really fun to use on any project. Also included is a mini sampler of the crystal drops, and this is called Dirty Bronze. It does have a pearlescent shine to it. Again, you can use this to accent any of your projects. You can also use it to make your own enamel dots. You'll also receive this mini mica mist. It's called Wild Olive, and you can just spray that directly onto your paper or any of your elements for a gorgeous, beautiful shine. Again, this is called Wild Olive. It's sort of a bronzy green color, very beautiful, very shimmery. Now, if you're interested in any of these items, the kit as a whole or any of the individual items, I posted some links down below. I only post links to available items, and this kit is only available for a limited time. So if you're interested, go ahead, check it out, and subscribe. So let's go ahead and dig into the project. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the die that's going to cut out my little box. And typically when I'm working with these dies, I like to go ahead and cut around the die only using the paper that I need for the die cut. And what you're going to do is you're going to cut out this panel twice. Now, I'm showing you on this beautiful green satin paper. However, I am going to switch it up a little bit. I'm going to use some craft cardstock. So here is an example of the little box that I already made so you can get an idea of what it looks like. For me, it's sometimes really hard to see what the finishing outcome is going to be if I'm just looking at a picture or whatnot. So I want to go ahead and show you this box already constructed. So I'm showing you how I did some embellishing on the box with some embossing powder from Nuvo, as well as some clear mark from Nuvo as well, and I'll post some links to those products down below. And notice how this box comes together at the top. It looks like you just sort of strung it together at the top, pulled it together nice and tight. And it also prevents any contents from falling out of it. So if you want to put some candies in there or a little gift or whatnot, then you don't have to worry about those contents falling out the way that the box ties together. Now, also featured on my example, I decorated some of the panels, and you can do a few things. You can cut the panels directly using the die, or you can cut out individual panels out of pattern paper, and that's what I'm going to do on the example today. So here's one of the very intricate panels. You can see I use some of the mirror cardstock, the gold mirror cardstock, and I just die cut those small panels to fit on the outside of my box, and then I embossed the stamped image there, the little triangular stamped image, using some of that clear mark ink as well as some of that embossing powder. And you can coordinate this, you can design to your heart's content. Now with this die, it's going to give you some score lines, and that's going to be important. It's going to help you break the fibers of your pattern paper so you can form your box. Next up, I wanted to create some little embellishments. Now this is optional, but the kit does come with some stamps, and one of those is a dragonfly and the other one is this little ladybug. So I'm going to show you how I made those in just a second. And I also went ahead and pre-cut the panels that I'm going to put on my box as well. So I created this beautiful lattice panel, or used one of the lattice panels, which is really pretty. And then I also used one of the solid dies to create a layering element that's going to go underneath, as you see there on the box. So the way that I did this, the first piece, is I went ahead and took one of the patterned dies. I'm going to go ahead and put the outline die right there, so that that pattern die is right in the middle of the outline die, and I like to die cut those two together. And when I run them through my die cutting machine, then I get that really fun panel. Now I don't have to do that on a separate piece of paper. I could do that directly onto my die cut box there, so I can stick that panel right where I want it and run that through my die cutting machine. It takes a little bit longer to do it, but it turns out to be beautiful. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and score my box along the score lines. And what this is going to do is allow me to pull my box together much easily when I actually have to adhere both of those panels together. And the reason why you need two is because you're going to put them together to make this 3D project. So I'm showing you all the places where you're going to need to fold. And I'm just taking my Tonic bone folder and I'm just going ahead and giving nice light pressure to those little pieces there, because those are the parts that I'm going to use to adhere my box together. I'm also going to go ahead and score at the points where the box is going to fold and come together, and you'll see how this all happens. And so I'm just working the paper just a little bit, breaking up those fibers so that the box, as you can see right there, will fold nicely. Now notice how the box has those little wells right there at the top? Well, I'm going to go ahead to my panels and just start working those little score lines so that it's easier for it to fold in when I put the box together. I'm adding gentle pressure to these fold lines because I don't want them to tear. Again, I'm just breaking up the fibers of that paper so that it works a little bit easier for me. Also, at the top where the scallop parts are, there are some little lines running down the middle of those top panels. I'm going to go ahead and do the same with those panels as well. So I'm folding in that middle part, because that middle part where the fold kind of folds into the box, I want to make sure that that comes together easily. And you'll see this. It's easier for you to see it versus me explaining it. So as you can see, I'm sort of squeezing the box together. I'm folding on the folding lines. And then here pretty soon, I'm going to go ahead and apply a little bit of pressure so I can force that box to go into the fold as it is designed. Now, as this is coming together, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on the second panel, folding on those folding lines. Again, just getting ready to construct this box. It makes it a lot easier when you're putting together the box at the end. Now, before you put your box together, I recommend that you go ahead and decorate the box. So if you're going to put any panels or do any extra die cutting on the box, like if I want to take that intricate panel and die cut that design directly on my box, then I want to make sure that I do that before I start folding on the score lines. But of course, after you sort of played with your box a bit to make sure that it comes together, you want to put these elements on your box. So I have these pre-cut panels, and I'm going to lay down or layer one of the panels with the intricate design on top of a solid panel, and that's going to give it a nice little background look, that yellow peeking through. This kind of reminds me of Princess Tiana's dress from Disney's Princess and the Frog. It's one of my favorite Disney movies, and I selected these colors because of that. So I'm going to go ahead using some Nuvo adhesive. I'm going to glue these panels down directly to my box. As you can see, it's a lot easier to do this step before you actually put your box together. Now there's some other embellishing I'm going to do, and I'll show you that here in a second. Now once I have my panels situated, if I wanted to do some heat embossing or anything like that, that would be the good time to do it, or at least before I start folding my panels in along the score lines. I'm now ready to assemble the box. So I'm going to take the first panel, I'm going to add some adhesive to the flaps, I'm going to get the flaps all adhered down to the panel. Now again, I like using liquid glue because it doesn't dry as fast. So if I mess up with trying to get it positioned just right, then I can go ahead and pull it up quickly. No harm, no foul. Now I'm going to go ahead and use my bone folder because I want to burnish those panels to make sure that adhesive sticks. So there it is. There's that one panel. I went ahead and adhered the two flaps down. Now I'm showing you the side flaps that I'm going to use in just a second so I can attach both of those pieces together. Adding some more of this liquid adhesive, I'm working on the second panel, and I like to do things in bits. So versus putting glue on all the panels and then trying to stick it together, I just work on one part of the panels at a time. So I went ahead and applied adhesive to the bottom part because now those two boxes, those two pieces are going to come together just like this to create the gift box. So there we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my bone folder. I'm going to burnish that, making sure that that panel sticks directly to the first panel sticks directly to the second panel. Now I'm going to go ahead and add some adhesive to the side flaps. This one was a little bit tricky because I didn't want to undo the panels and have them come apart. Take your time with this. There's certainly no rush. I'm going to go ahead and add adhesive to both sides, and then I'm going to attach them together and take my bone folder and burnish them to make sure that they come together. This one's a little bit trickier. I'm trying not to squash my box. I'm going to go ahead and lay it down on its side and take my bone folder and just run that in there, making sure that those small tabs fit together on my box. This is a little bit more tricky because those tabs, or those small little flaps, are tiny and are not as easy to adhere. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and finish up my box. And I'm kind of working on folding it in. This was a little bit tricky at first, but as you can see, pre-scoring, or at least pre-folding those pre-scored lines, definitely helps in trying to figure out the shape of the box and how to fold it in. So you're going to take the box and you're going to start folding it in there at the top, and it's going to create sort of this nice drawn in look, like you have a little fabric pouch. That's how it's going to look. So you're just going to go ahead and squeeze those panels in towards each other. Lastly, I'm going to add some adhesive to two of the smaller tabs there. That's going to bring the top part of this box together. Again, using some liquid adhesive for this, holding them together for just a few seconds. And I'm showing you the different wells of the box. It's starting to come together, and now I'm ready to finish it out. So I'm going to go ahead and fold in both of those panels toward each other, creating my little box. Isn't this cool? At this point, I just squealed because this box is just so cute. I'm going to take some twine, and you can get this Tonic twine as well. I'll make sure I'll post the link down below. I just did a double wrap on that twine around the top of the box, and I'm going to go ahead and just do a nice little bow. And I just think this looks really cute for springtime. You can make a ton of these and have them ready for Easter or for birthdays, or just to give to somebody as a little gift and have little trinkets in there or candies or whatnot. I'm going to go ahead and tie a bow with the twine, and then I'm going to snip the edges, or snip the tails there. So as you can see, the top of the box, you can see where the top panels come together. Nothing's coming out of that box, which is what I love about it. So now my little box is almost done. There are a couple other things that I want to do to make sure that my box is really cute. Now this is optional at this point, but I want to add some embellishments. I made these cute little dimensional embellishments out of the ladybug that comes with the stamp set with this kit. So I'm going to take some black ink, and I'm going to take one of the pattern papers from the Woodland Park kit, or 6x6 paper pack. I'm going to rip that straight out of there. And I'm going to stamp that little ladybug directly onto that pattern paper. Now, I know that ladybugs typically, well, I guess some of them may be yellow. Ladybugs aren't always red, right? There's some ladybugs that are of different colors, but my ladybug's going to be yellow for this project. I'm going to take some black memento ink, and I'm going to stamp that directly onto my pattern paper. Next up, the kit comes with a die that you can die cut not only this cute little ladybug, but there's also a dragonfly as well that you can die cut. So I'm just going to use my tiny little Big Shot here, and I'm going to run that through and go ahead and die cut out that little ladybug. Now I'm going to give this a little bit of dimension because I want it to be very prominent on my box. So there we go, my little stamped ladybug all cut out. Then it also comes with a layered element, or a background die that you can use to layer on the stamped piece if you want. So there's that solid pattern or panel there that I'm going to go ahead and use along with my little yellow stamped ladybug. I'm going to add some dimensional adhesive. Again, this is from Tonic, and I'll post a link down below if you're interested in that. And I think this is 1/8 of an inch tall, so it's not going to be super bulky, but it's going to give it enough dimension to look very interesting on my project. I adhered those 2 pieces together, and there we go. Cute little ladybug. Very adorable. Now I'm going to go ahead and just attach this to my box, and I want to attach it in a way that makes it look like the ladybug is climbing up my box, or ladybugs rather. I'm going to put 3 on there. 1 at the top where the scallops are. I'm going to put 1 in the middle, and then I think I might put 1 towards the bottom. I can't remember. I might put, well, maybe it's to the side. I'm going to add some more of this Craft Perfect dimensional foam pads. Yep, I put it there to the bottom. There we go. That way my little ladybugs have a little bit more prominence on the box. On my example, I used the dragonflies, and for that one, I used some of the embossing powder, the bronze embossing powder from Tonic, to create those adorable dragonflies, and they turned out very cute. They look like they're just crawling up the box, just like the ladybugs. Oh my goodness, these turned out so adorable. To learn more about these Tonic kits, particularly Kit 20, make sure you click on the links below. I also provided links to all of the products that you've seen here, or at least those that are available. This kit's only available for a limited time. You can also get a subscription to the Tonic kits as well, so make sure you guys check that out. And as always, make sure you subscribe to Victoria Marie YouTube channel. When you do, click the bell indicator. That way you'll be notified each and every time a new video is posted here to this channel.